Sup ladies, it's just KX Cypher and welcome back to another video. So today this one's actually happy Easter to y'all. Thought I forgot. I don't know if y'all into Easter or not. I know some people religious and everything. Not gonna get too deep into that, but I hope it's a good blessed day for y'all. We're doing first of all, the day before yesterday, I was supposed to post a scary gameplay video, and it took me 3 hours to do. And when I finally finished it, I couldn't even use the video. It was corrupted. It said, what did it say? It was like some error message, whatever. So yesterday I spent all day thinking about like, what should I do with the video, or should I still play it? Because I played through it already. I don't know. I just don't know. So today we're doing like a Easter special where we watch together, the Panda community, watch scary animated videos of the Easter Bunny. So I hope y'all enjoy, and if y'all want more, just bamboo smack that like button and panda roll over that subscribe button. So let's get into it. Alright. Oh, the night shift.
I don't usually hold back when it comes to talking about my job, which was working security at the sub-level of a local hospital. You'd be surprised to know how common break-ins were at that place, which usually ended up being a couple of junkies trying to get high on some of the weird chemicals that were being kept in the labs.
I would never still work there.
It started out as a regular graveyard shift at work, but I'll lead in with a curious backstory regarding the doors that led to the morgue. In order to keep the place more sanitized, they had recently installed sliding doors that would automatically open if someone passed in front of them.
Oh.
Thus removing the need to touch any handles or doorknobs, and prevent anyone from leaving the doors open by accident. Hygiene played a major role at that morgue, and it had been on the agenda for the past few months.
I could never work
really
at a morgue.
About sliding doors, except for the fact that they would sometimes open and close by themselves. That by itself didn't seem like such a big deal, since this could have been caused by something small such as a moth flying in front of the sensor. Until one night, I realized that it would always happen at the same time. Every night, at exactly 3 AM, the doors would open for a few seconds and then close. I was convinced that the doors had been programmed with some kind of time-based trigger, but when I contacted the company that installed the doors, they told me that it wasn't possible, since the doors were designed only to open when the sensors were triggered or forced open manually.
Give me a second. I forgot to do something. Yeah. My Easter basket.
So it continued without any explanation for a long time after that, and
Y'all
became
got
sort of a ritual for me and my co-workers to watch the doors open and close on the
Y'all got me twisted on that.
Usually there would be at least 2 guards on duty, but that night I ended up working the graveyard shift by myself because the other security guard suddenly became ill and there wasn't enough time to find a temp who could fill in at such short notice.
That's a sign, my boy. That's a
Just
sign.
to be clear, I had been working as a security guard for a long time, so I was no stranger to danger, and I wasn't worried about working alone at night. Besides, the work was pretty straightforward. All I had to do is make sure all the doors were locked and secured and keep a close eye on the monitors. There were only 2 cameras, one overlooking the control room and another one at the other end of the corridor overlooking the entrance to the morgue. As the clock approached 3 AM, I did what all the guards on duty would do: sit back and enjoy the show.
Oh, like we're
Although
doing.
the novelty of seeing this phenomenon had long worn off, it was still something I would anticipate and would often give me the chills, seeing how it was the entrance to the morgue and that you could sense a sudden rush of cold air every time the doors would open, even from the other end of the corridor. I watched patiently as the doors opened, followed by the howling rush of cold air that could be heard from under the door.
Yo, your AC got ice demons.
It was when I glanced away from the door and looked to the monitors that I noticed something strange.
What
The doors
happened?
remained open.
Lock
At
it.
first I thought it might be a glitch with the monitor, and I was simply looking at a frozen frame. But then I saw the lights flicker. I waited for a few minutes, but it soon became clear that I would have to head on down to the end of the corridor, since it was strictly prohibited for the doors to the morgue to remain open.
Nah. That
As I
dead
stepped
body.
out into the corridor, I
That bed.
noticed a significant drop in temperature, which I knew was going to get considerably worse as I approached the morgue. I gradually made my way down the corridor and turned the corner that ultimately led me to the sliding doors.
This man is brave.
I had hoped that the doors might have closed by the time I got there, but just as I had seen on the monitor, the doors were in fact still open and the camera was functioning normally. I tried waving my hands in front of the sensor, but to no avail. The doors would not budge. I reluctantly contemplated my next option, which was to test the sensors from the other side, requiring me to enter the morgue.
Don't
But
do
I
it.
decided to take a look around first to see if I could observe anything out of the ordinary. Only when I turned my back to observe the corridor did the doors finally close, which was quickly accompanied by a cold chill in the air. I could feel an overwhelming sense of someone standing right behind me as the hairs on the back of my neck began to spike.
Hey boy, how you doing today? Now time to
But
leave.
it turned out to be more of the same eerie silence as
Ad.
we closed without having to actually enter the morgue. I considered myself fortunate and hurried back to the control room to make sure nothing else was out of place. I closed the door and locked it from the inside, and for a moment I was expecting it to be business as usual as I sat back down in front of the monitors.
Barricade the
But
door.
after taking a quick sip of my coffee, I realized the coffee was stone cold. Not just lukewarm as you would expect, but genuinely chilled. I hadn't been away from the desk for that long, so it didn't make much sense at all. But then I remembered that I had felt that same chill before at the other end of that corridor. Out of curiosity, I decided to rewind the security footage back to when I approached the doors to see if I could spot anything out of the ordinary,
Don't tell me.
which is when I witnessed something that I simply couldn't explain.
Don't tell me. Oh.
There was a girl standing in front of the doors behind me.
Oh.
I couldn't really make out her face due to her long black hair. That was a stark contrast to the white gown she was wearing. She just stood there staring right at me and then walked towards the exit. To this day, I can't explain it, because I had just been there and I hadn't seen anyone. It was when I checked the other camera overlooking the entrance to the control room that really sent a chill down my spine and still gives me nightmares to this day.
Man didn't freak out.
When the lights came back on, it was as if nothing happened. The door to the control room was open despite being locked from the inside just moments before. Due to the mysterious power surge, most of the data on the drives had been completely corrupted.
Man didn't
Some
freak
of the
out.
security footage did survive, and I've been holding on to it ever since. I guess now would be the time to ask yourself, do you believe in ghosts?
I honestly do. Do y'all believe in ghosts? Cause there's just some things you just can't
Hey, folks, if
explain.
you want to see the footage from the camera overlooking the entrance to the control room, please help this video reach 5,000 likes and I'll upload it to my Instagram account.
Shout out to Animation Horror Flicks. Y'all show them some love. That was the ominence was just, it was there. It was really there. I don't know how I would feel after looking at the security camera and seeing some random ghost lady just staring at me and then walk past me, then open my door. Nah. Y'all got me freaked up. Alright, this one is from a YouTube creator called Martin Animation.
I remember this like it was yesterday.
Oops.
My brother and I were home alone for the night while our parents went out with their friends. He's
My
17
God.
and I'm 13.
A three,
My brother left soon after my parents, even though he was supposed to stay home.
a green haircut?
Recently, a new neighbor just moved in next door. Some old guy.
Why
I saw him
on?
speaking with our parents the first day at his house. Anyway, we live in Florida, and it was the wintertime, so it wasn't too cold. I say this because we have a pool in our backyard that's heated, and I love swimming.
I'm leaving Florida.
Around 10:30 p.m., I decided to go swimming. I called my friend to let him know, so he said he'll come over. He only lives about a street away. I started to swim some laps, and as I come up for some air, I saw the old man from next door standing on the outside of our fence
excuse me,
against the
sir?
gate with the creepiest smile on his face. I lost all form in my swimming strokes and completely stopped. I played it cool and I said hi. He didn't even say hi, he went straight to, I noticed that your parents aren't home. I told him that my older brother is, and he then said, nah, he's not. I didn't see him when I was watching you through your bedroom window.
What?
I didn't say anything. I was just shocked. He opened up the gate and started to speed walk toward me. I
Nope.
began to back up in order to climb out of the pool while yelling help. He was getting closer, then he stopped and looked behind me. My friend was on the other side of the fence running toward us, and also on the phone with the cops. My neighbor ran into his house. The cops came, but the old man denied everything. He didn't know that my friend recorded him before he called the cops. He was arrested and eventually moved away. I don't know what his plan was, but I'm glad my friend showed up. Obviously, my parents were pissed at my brother for leaving when he was supposed to stay at home to watch me. But they were happy I was okay. To this day, I haven't seen that guy since.
It was him, officer. Him right there. Oh, heck no. I can't even imagine.
While in college, I love finding snakes. So a friend of mine from the herpetology club, he showed me this road that he would cruise for snakes. Cruising is when you drive slowly down the old back roads, after dark, looking for snakes that have slithered onto the warmer road that heat up. The road we took was about 4 miles and had around 4 houses on it. We had taken a few laps on this road, and we were making our final pass. There are 2 houses near the beginning of the road, one at the end and one near the middle. We were getting close to the center when we see movement on the left side of the road. There are a lot of animals on this road, so we weren't surprised to see this. However,
Nah.
Shoutout is this kid, probably around 8 or 9, torn blue jeans and a ripped dark t-shirt. He takes one look at us. In his face is a mix of fear and pain.
Is
He
he?
looked back really quick from where he had come out of, then booked it across the road. The guy I'm with, he gets out of the car chasing to see if he's alright, and I pull the car up to the point where the boy went into the woods. I'm starting to get out of the car when my friend walks back quickly. He just says, "Let's go now."
There's
We
a
hop in the
bunch
car
of
and
them.
tear out of there. He says there's a graveyard about 10 yards into the woods where the boy had ran. And it was 5 gravestones with the same death date. They all had the same last name. And one was a boy who was 9. We never came back for the rest of the summer to that road. We usually would go out once or twice a week, but not anymore. The next year when my friend had graduated, I took my girlfriend out to that road. We are going early to try and find different types of snakes.
You're gonna
Different
see.
Snakes tend to move at different times of the day.
You gonna see the same boy?
We got to the house near the graveyard, and there's 3 men doing some yard work. I rolled down the window and I explained what I was doing and asked them about the graveyard. Apparently, their dad's brother's family had all died, and their space heater caught on fire around 20 years ago. I kept pushing and asking them about it, and they told me the firemen or whoever does it have found all the bodies in the rubble except for the youngest son, but they assumed he was too far burned. I asked if
What?
they had a little brother, and the 6'4", 250-pound man said he was the youngest. When I gave the description of the kid I saw, they all went white. They all have, individually seen the kid I was talking about, and he always runs into the gravesite. I have never been on that road again.
Yo.
I have no plans on going back. I'm not too fond of the paranormal.
He looked possessed too. By the way, this a 3-story straight through. I thought there's gonna be little breaks in between, but it just looks like he just goes through. But why was his height and weight important? That I just noticed that man says 6'4", 190. I don't even know. Okay, I really thought this was just gonna be like the Easter Bunny, but I guess it's on the day of Easter this happened.
I was staying with them for a week, but I got a weird vibe about their house. I was sleeping in the attic, and around 3 a.m., I woke up to find my 6-year-old cousin standing next to my bed staring at me.
You possessed,
He
man?
started telling me about his imaginary friend, Maury. The next
Nah.
day, when I asked his
Sell him.
parents about it, they told me he didn't have an imaginary friend. And they said he never had one in their previous house.
Sell
I
him.
decided to ask him about it, but he said he had no idea what they were talking about. The next night, around 3 a.m.,
What?
I woke up again to find my little cousin staring right at me. He kept repeating over and over, "Why did you tell? Why did you tell? Why did you tell?" I tried to talk to him, and he started telling me about how Maury would appear in his dreams at night to eat dinner with his family when they were at the table. I asked him how he met Maury, and he told me that Maury came to him and asked him if he can come inside of him. He said, "Yeah, sure, come in." That's when Maury started to come beside his bed every night to talk to him. The next day, I told his parents, but they didn't believe me. They thought I was making it up. On my final night in the house, I was
He
awoken
is
by
possessed.
faint thumping under my bed. At this point, I was very scared, but I worked up the courage to peek under my bed. I
No.
found my little cousin hiding under there.
Oh.
He said he was protecting me. He told me that Maury couldn't trust me and he wants me gone, and that Maury won't hurt me if he's there to protect me. Then he started going back and forth with someone who wasn't there, moving around like he was wrestling with someone. Then I heard the words, "Kill him." It was a deep, raspy voice that I've never heard before. Those were the last words I heard him say. I ran faster than
Oh.
I ever had before.
Oh, yeah.
At least 3 blocks
We
down
out.
the road before my aunt and uncle caught up with me and begged me to come back. They asked me what had happened, and when I told them, again, they didn't believe me.
Of course.
When we walked back to the house and went upstairs, my cousin was in his bed, sound asleep. I left the next morning and never went back. That was a very creepy experience in my life. Very creepy. And I can't compare it to any other experience ever. And it's extremely difficult for me to talk about because I really don't know what was going on. My cousin doesn't remember while my aunt and uncle still don't believe me. At the same time, my cousin has always been weird ever since that day. And he doesn't make a lot of friends. I don't know. I figured that I'll get this story out there to other people so I won't keep it bottled up inside. To add to that, I've never been back to my cousin's house because I don't trust him, I don't trust my aunt, and I don't trust my uncle.
No, I wouldn't either. I'm sorry.
Something's up with that family, and it isn't something good. Just be careful of the company you keep. Whether it's your family, whether it's your friends, just always be careful.
Y'all got a cousin that's possessed. You better throw salt on him. Couldn't be me. If they talking all that mess, I would have been like, wake up. Nah, man, you can't be just staring at me in my sleep and taking all this, kill him. Nah. You ain't killing nobody. You gonna face face one of these. And if they don't believe me, I'll be like, all right, then that's fine with me. I'm scooching along. I'm out. All right, let me find one about the Easter Bunny, because I thought these were about the Easter Bunny. So I found one. I found actually two. One's longer than the other, but this one is from Merrily Horror Animation. So let's check this one out.
Another year of this pandemic meant no Easter egg hunt with my friends. I grew up in a very Christian community in Virginia. We would always go all out with celebrations following Mass. But this year, I had to go straight home. No egg hunt and no Easter bunny. It also didn't help that my dad was deployed for the next few months. He usually dressed up as the Easter bunny.
Them cupcakes look nice.
I knew I shouldn't have complained though. My mom tried her best by baking a cake and hiding Easter eggs all around the house and garden for me to find.
Number one mother.
Oh, time to take the cake out of the oven. There are 2 more eggs hidden. I'll be back in a jiffy. She probably buried it near the spring flowers she had just planted. Got it. The Easter bunny?
Oh, who are you?
Oh, hi there. Is this your house? Happy Easter. Would you like a bunny?
You look dirty.
Thank you. Okay, you're lost. Do you want to play a game, little girl? No. Hippity hop. Let's hop over to the bridge.
He just...
I have chocolates and peeps, eggs full of treats.
Oh, he's rhyming bars,
on.
but
Hop with me.
no.
Hippity hoppity.
I'm a step away.
This is no longer your property. It suddenly pulled out a hatchet from behind its back
Nope.
and started chasing me around the garden.
Gotta run.
It took every ounce of energy in me to not look back and to keep running as fast as I could.
Mother.
Want a slice now? Where did you go? Mom! Oh, a mama bunny, huh? A mate. Time to multiply. Hippity hoppity.
Gotta go fast.
Hippity hoppity.
That's...
My mom saw me running towards her and immediately opened the door.
How's she not panicking right now? She don't see that?
Sally, hurry! Get in! And thankfully, I stepped foot inside in the nick of time. My mom immediately slammed the door shut.
Lock?
Just as the bunny man was about to get inside. Bunny man tried to break the window with the hatchet. And immediately, the alarm system went off. Mom ran to the kitchen drawer
Oh,
and pulled
Mom's...
out Dad's gun.
Mom is strapped.
Then pointed it at him and told him he had 5 seconds to leave.
That little side piece.
I'll be back, little Sally. And like that, he turned around and hopped away.
This...
The cops arrived a few minutes later, and they couldn't believe that the bunny man had returned after decades.
This man's been on the
following
loose.
morning, when we stepped outside to leave for my granny's house, we saw headless bunny buddies all over our lawn. So we decided that we were going to move to a less rural area. I definitely never want to do another egg hunt or see another Easter bunny.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either. What? Excuse me? First of all, he hopped away. He's taking that role a little too seriously. Second, not even second. This should be the first. He ate that bunny's head. He ate it off. Chewed it like it was gum. Nah, miss me with Easter now. But shout out to Merrily Horror Animation. I see you out there. Keep up the good work. And now to the next one. This one's a little long, but let's get into it.
It happened about a week ago around the same time, 2 a.m. Just a bit of background. I live in the UK and go to uni. I live in a fairly typical student house, though in a bad area. Anyway, it's the Easter holidays here and we get 2 weeks off. There's 7 of us in the house usually, but everyone's gone home for the holidays. I don't have a lot of family and I have a ridiculous amount of work to do, so I decided to stay here for Easter. Now I don't care when I say this, but I hate being alone. Every little fucking noise at night still freaks me out, and I'm 22 fucking years old. Anyway,
why was that necessary?
I set up camp in the living room, doing
Don't
some
know.
work with headphones in. There's a door from the living room that leads to the backyard, really small yard with another door leading to a small alley. I go out for a smoke down the alley, which is creepy as fuck. I get back, but do you know that feeling of something's wrong here? I felt it. I was thinking I was just being paranoid, so I walked into the kitchen, got a drink. Then I definitely heard a fucking noise. I grab a knife out of the drawer. There's a fucking shadow near the empty space where the old washing machine was.
It's probably like stop
I
cursing.
nearly pissed myself. I don't know what to do. Don't know why I did, but I threw some kitchen towel at him. Fucking screamed, banged his head on the wood. I was standing there with a knife
What
and this
the
guy
heck?
looked at me dead in the eyes. He had some crazy contact lenses in, like blood red ones. He made the situation even more terrifying. I just said, get the fuck out, or I'll call the police, as I'm sitting there shaking with my knife in hand. He ran out through the door, into the alleyway and fucked off.
Why he
I
run it
rang the
like
police
that?
and told them about what had happened. Completely forgot about the washing machine space. Showed the police where he came in. There was a fucking bag with 3 knives, lighter fluid, and matches. Honestly, I have no idea what he intended to do.
You know
But I'm
exactly
glad he didn't get the chance.
what he wanted to do.
I hadn't thought about this for a while until just now, when an animal charity put an alert out on Facebook. So April last year, I thought about getting 2 rabbits to accompany my other 2. The 2 I had already were neutered females, so I was looking for neutered males, the rabbit's social hierarchy, lifelong buddies, etc. I was looking on Gumtree for an exercise pen to attach to the one we had already, so that if we did get more bunnies, once bounded, there'd be a bigger space for them when they weren't out during the day. So I found an advert for one, clicked it, and saw the owner was also putting her rabbits up for adoption. It had been one of those dumb things. Her kid daughter had been excited for Easter. Mom bought her some rabbits. Rabbits didn't want to be picked up. Kid made them nervous, eventually becomes bored of them because they're not like toy rabbits. It's an unfortunate common story. Anyway,
Them bunnies
I called him up,
look
asked
mad.
about the exercise pen and the rabbits, and we arranged to meet the next day when the seller's able to arrange to take the morning off work. The next day, she met me off the train in her town, more like a village really.
Bunny said, "What the heck? I can barely breathe in here. And there's another guy."
And we walked to her house. She was a really nice lady, and she had a Belfast accent. This is all happening just outside of Glasgow, by the way, and as an English immigrant to Scotland, it was just nice to hear a different accent. On the way, she started telling me about after I'd called her. Her phone had said she had 15 missed calls. About a minute after we'd arranged to meet, her phone
15.
rang again, and a man with a thick Irish traveler accent had started talking about getting the rabbits from her without even saying hello. When he'd taken a minute to breathe, she explained that she already had someone coming to see them, and that if it didn't work out, she'd let them know. He sounded angry when she'd said that, and sworn before he hung up on her. Anyway, We get to her house. The
Okay.
exercise pen is exactly what I want, and then I meet the bunnies and fall in love with them. She asked me if I'd like to give them a new home, and I agree. Not just because of how lovely and sociable they were with me within a few minutes of meeting them, but because they were a bonded pair, and I couldn't stand the thought of them being separated at a shelter. I mean, it was just after Easter, and then and Christmas are the worst time for spaces and shelters. Because I was also taking the rabbits back with me, she was kind enough to drive me back to my flat with everything. Later on that day, around 6 p.m.,
Where
I
are
got a call
they?
from her. When she had dropped off me and the rabbits back at my flat, she had gone straight to work. When she had gotten home, she found her daughter being comforted by the babysitter. She thought she was probably just upset that the rabbits had gone. But no. Her daughter had answered a knock at the door while the babysitter was making dinner. A big guy in scruffy clothes had looked down at her and grinned, and asked if she had any rabbits. She said she did have, but they moved house today and the guy's smile turned angry. He started shouting, and he pounded his fist at the door, and that's when the babysitter came running.
Oh,
The
heck
babysitter
no.
said there was a
Clean.
white transit van parked outside, and there were 2 other guys in there. The man's
Clean your
accent
teeth.
was Irish and distinctively traveler. Turns out that when she posted the ad for the exercise pen, it had been from her phone, and Gumtree automatically added her street location on the little map thing next to the username. She had posted a separate ad for the rabbits in the pets for sale section, which I hadn't seen, and that's how they'd found the house. It's a small street in a suburb, so even with the map location, it wasn't a very long street, and they could have easily knocked on the other 5 or 6 doors on the street. The babysitter had called the police after she forced the door shut.
Why he built like that? Look at, man. He about to hop too, like the other guy. What the heck? Oh man, couldn't be me. That man got alien fingers and
These
everything.
guys are apparently always being spotted in small newsagents calling people about dogs for sale. They've been arrested before for organizing dog fights
Look
and
at
stealing dogs and
him.
rabbits for people's gardens. It was only when I saw a charity on Facebook send out an alert about some Irish chaps in a corner shop holding the classifieds open and ringing about a dog near Perth that I remembered. I guess they move around a lot. Perth's quite far from Glasgow. To think there are such greedy, heartless people driving around, stealing and buying dogs to fight, and taking rabbits to give the dogs a taste for blood for the fight, to the point of shouting at a kid because they have no bait for their dogs, on one of the most peaceful holidays of the year. That is creepy as hell.
Very.
About 8 or 10 years ago, but it's
Is that song a trend or something? Hippity hop hop hippity. If I hear that outside my house, that person will feel the wrath.
I had just gotten out of a really shitty relationship with a guy I had been living with for 3 years. He was a really pretty boy who looked like Johnny Depp, but he liked to steal all my money while I was at work and throw crazy parties. I got tired of his stealing and coming home to emo kids asleep all over my house, so I left him. I
Yeah.
didn't want anything but my stuff, and I let him keep the house and cars I bought him. I just wanted my sanity back.
Yeah.
I moved back in with my granny.
Good
I'm her
move.
favorite grandchild, and she's spoiled me as she does. I had recently reconnected with my best friend that I had known since kindergarten, Chris. I was hanging out with Chris on my back porch one morning when the subject of boys gets brought up. Chris is gay, and we often talk about boys together. He asked if I
Starbucks.
was seeing anybody, and I tell him that I'm not. It had only been a few months since I left the money leech, and I didn't think I was ready to trust anyone. Chris said that he knew the perfect man for me. I said that I don't think there is such a thing. He begs me to go meet this guy. I reluctantly sigh and tell my granny that I'm going on an adventure with Chris. We talked as we drove, and he tells me that this guy has been in love with me since we were kids.
Where was your
He told me
granny?
it was this little boy, Quinn, that used to follow me around. I told him that I thought Quinn was a lot younger than us. He told me that Quinn is just short like me. He called Quinn and told me to talk to him. I do, and he seems really sweet, but a little airheaded. We show up at his house, and he's really pretty. He was also very sweet, has a good job, his own car, and owns his own company.
Oh no,
We
he
started
has
hanging out a lot and eventually started dating.
the Mario
He
Kart
buys me
hairline.
presents like nice jewelry and Prada sunglasses. He told me his girl only deserved the best. I told him I couldn't accept all these gifts, but he would just dump them in my car or purse when I wasn't looking, so I just learned to take them. He wanted to always call me and talk for hours, and wanted me to call when I got home from his house. I thought he was sweet and just wanted to be sure I got home safely. The reality set in rather quickly. He introduced me to his entire family within a couple of days of us dating. I usually don't introduce guys to my family until we're serious, but whatever. Upon meeting his mother, I learned that it's her house and he lives there with her. I also learned that he has no job other than doing odd jobs for his dad. I was speechless. He also lied about being my age. I was 24 at the time, and he had just turned 18 like the day or so before we started dating.
What?
I was so upset I didn't know how to feel. He begs me not to leave him and to take him to my play rehearsal the next day. He showed up in my driveway just as I was leaving for the theater. Chris drove him there and tells me we need to sort our shit out. He said if Quinn was gay, he would be all over him, not to leave him over a few small lies. The whole drive is awkward. I don't want to talk to this guy. I want him gone, I'm thinking in my mind. He pulls out a diamond ring and tries to propose to me.
What?
I tell him no, but he slides the rock on my finger anyway. He tells me I need to just think about it. I go to the theater and shit just goes downhill from there.
Okay,
He
that
embarrassed me
man.
in front of my friends with his ignorance and childness, and threw a bitch fit because my other best friend, Mikey, gave me a piggyback ride. He storms out, and then his mother started calling to check up on him. I decided right then and there it was done. After rehearsal, I got a friend to go with me to drive him home.
He going a little too
I tried to
crazy.
give his ring back, but he wouldn't take it. I leave and go to a bar with my fellow actors. I told him that was why I had to take him home so early. Driving back, I see flashing lights in my rearview mirror. I hear
No.
yelling. Chris and Quinn are following. I pull into the bar and Chris throws Quinn and myself at each other and yells that we need to talk. I break up with Quinn right then and there. As he starts throwing a bitch fit, I walk into the bar with my friend. I spend the night at Mikey's for a few days. When I returned home, I had tons of harassing phone calls. He called me and my grandparents every few hours. He even had Chris help. Everywhere I went, he was there. He stalked me at home, made me run from a theater during a movie, and followed my car. Chris helped him do all of this as well.
Oh no.
He even pulled a gun on my family while we were outside during Easter. I was helping the little kids hunt eggs. He cruised by several times and then pulled his gun. He creeped by with his gun and pointed it directly at us. I was terrified.
What the
I had
heck?
no idea what to think. I filed a restraining order that
Oh
day.
heck
I
no.
moved in with Mikey so he would leave my grandparents alone. I went nowhere without at least 2 guys with me at all times. I thought at any minute he would come and kill me. I felt hunted like a deer in the woods. But I was lucky though. I come to find out, he shot up the car of his next girlfriend while her 2-year-old was inside. Damn, was I lucky.
What? Oh, he was just ready to explode. Oh heck no. It's only been a few days and like I understand like some people like see someone and they fall in love, but like give the other person a chance at least, like, and then for you to be 18 and living with your parents and everything, you don't have to lie about that. Like, if it's either they're okay with it or not. Like, but then to pull guns out because someone broke up with you, nah, it's not even that serious, my dude. Like, that's out of pocket. Alright, well, we'll end on that note. If y'all want more of this, let me know. If y'all want to recommend some to me, just follow me on Twitter and send them to me, and I will react to them and give them a shout out. Oh, this person is Martin Animation. Show all of them some love. But I hope you guys enjoy our Easter scary day. But until next time, you know what to do. Bamboo, smack that like button and pan roll the subscribe button. I'll see y'all later. Chaotic Cypher is out. Peace.